Hey, good evening. I'm really happy to have you here. My name is Daniel. I was a professional opera singer and beatboxer, and tonight we're going to be listening to the bass singers of TikTok perform Santiana. So, this is a donation request from Susan Southard, and I'm thrilled to be able to get into this. I've only heard one piece from the bass singers of TikTok, which was Hoist the Colors, and it was amazing. I'm really excited to jump back into this. There was a period of my life where I was really into sea shanties, particularly from The Longest Johns, and I heard Home Free's sea shanty medley, so I was just so thrilled when this came up as a request. I'm really excited to jump into this. I'm not as well familiar with this group of singers. Like I mentioned, I only heard them once in that one particular piece, so I'm thrilled to be able to jump into this, and I hope you guys are excited as well. So this one's for you, Susan. Let's jump into it. Immediately.
And away we'll go, away, Santiana. Heave her up, and away we'll go, along the plains of Mexico. Oh, Santiana gained the day. Away, Santiana. Napoleon of the West, they say. Along the plains of Mexico. Well, heave her up and away we'll go.
Chills, man.
Santiana, heave her up and away we'll go. Along the plains of Mexico. She's a fast clipper ship and a bully good crew. Away, Santiana. And an old salty yang or a captain too. Along the plains of Mexico, heave her up and away we'll go. Away, Santiana, heave her up and away we'll go. Along the plains of Mexico.
Santiana, Ford for gold.
Away, Santiana.
Chills.
Around Cape Horn through the ice and snow.
Along the plains of Mexico.
Heave her up and away we'll go. Away, Santiana.
Yeah.
Heave her up and away we'll go. Along the plains of Mexico.
Was on the field of Monte del Rey. Away, Santiana. Well, both his legs got blown away. Along the plains of Mexico. Well, heave her up and away we'll go. Away, Santiana. Heave her up and away we'll go. Along the plains of Mexico.
Oh.
It was a fierce and strike away, Santiana. The tailor took his life. Along the plains of Mexico. Heave her up and away we'll go. Away, Santiana. Heave her up and away we'll go. Along the plains of Mexico. Santiana, now we mourn. Away, Santiana. We left him buried on in
It's been a little while since I've heard this group, as I've mentioned, and I can't remember the name of the pirate with the eye patch and that salt and pepper beard. I know you guys commented in my last Bass Singers of TikTok video, but I just had a feeling that he was also going to get a solo just because his voice is so rich in that basement of the of his range. Oh my gosh. But even in his solo, normally when I hear him sing, I remember from Hoist the Colors that he was, even though he was in that basement of his voice, that it was still very legato and smooth, where here it definitely sounded much more like he was in his vocal fry, even though it was still on a pitch and it still sounded really manly, just testosterone filled bass. And it was still very rich. It definitely felt like he was utilizing more of his vocal fry than actually singing those notes, but I have to hear it again. But even going beyond that, though, the arrangement of this was something I didn't expect, because Santiana, at least from what I've heard so far from it, is pretty upbeat. Away, Santiana. And the tempo is moderato, or a pretty energized kind of piece. But just the way that they started in this very lento or slow tempo and had this pretty quick accelerando incorporated as the rising action of the piece, just to really get the groove going. And the way that they just kept playing with the tempo, it just kept the piece so alive. And the solos were wonderful, and the soloists were wonderful, and I love every single vocalist that had their solo, because it not only created contrast in the piece that just kept me wanting to listen to more, but every single soloist had their own take on it. Their own take on their own lines and their own phrasing, even though all of their breath placement and the cadential structure itself all fit within the same style. But you really felt the individual charm of each vocalist as they presented their verse. And what a great arrangement, man, and what a great execution. Let's jump into the analysis. Just strong attacks in the beginning. Love that.
Well, heave her up and away we'll go. Away, Santiana.
As I mentioned, the very beginning of the piece was exceptional. Just starting with that strong H, immediately going into the M to vocalize that hum, and just creating a lot of space in their mouth so that M can reverberate as much as possible. Because when you make an M, your lips are closed, so you can't vocalize it, so you can't project it outward. So you need that M to resonate as much as possible by creating an open space in your mouth, making your soft palate, raising that as much as possible so the sound that resonates in your chest can resonate through your mask as much as possible, even though your lips are closed. So the fact that they start there is just so good, so powerful. And this first vocalist, it's really interesting what he's doing here, because in more creepy drag feelings, which is what I feel like they're trying to go for here, normally the approach to that is getting a very big breath in the very beginning, and in this lento or slow passage, everything is connected. There's no breaks in the phrase itself, because it creates this kind of spectral lingering effect that's just constantly being dragged from the music itself. So the fact that he does have excellent diction and uses that diction to cut off these notes and then pick back up while still maintaining this lento drag kind of aesthetic. It's a very interesting choice, and it's not something that I'm particularly accustomed to in this aesthetic of singing. So, and it's not anything that I disagree with by any means. It's just something I'm not really adjusted to. So I think this is a really unique and dynamic take on it.
And away we'll go, away, Santiana.
Oh, love that fall off.
And away we'll go, along the plains of Mexico.
Love that at Celarando.
Santiana gained the day.
Ah, those harmonies.
Napoleon of the West, they say.
Oh my gosh, that vocalist in the middle, the one who does the first leading melodic line, his voice is so smooth and sultry. It's not quite deep in the basements of bassiness, but it's got this nice low richness to it, and it's so smooth and velvety, and it just feels like the Constitution is being penned in that beautiful cursive, you know?
Napoleon of the West, they say. Along the plains of Mexico. Leave her up and away we'll go away, Santiana.
Oh, I love the way they hold that in there. Away, Santia, instead of San, and closing the N immediately into Tiana, but away, San, and just holding that N, letting that N give you a similar feeling as to the M's we got from the very beginning in those hums. Oh yeah, everything is just working so well aesthetically. I love it.
Heave her up and away we'll go, along the plains of Mexico. She's a fast clipper ship and a bully good crew.
Just the differences in their voice and how they approached that line was so great. On our vocalist on the left, we had that more bass, smooth texture, or we had that low bass, ba-da-da-da-da. But on the right, we get this more operatic, ba-da-da, and just having both of them sing together at the same time. It's not like they necessarily mesh really well together in this particular section, but this is something I really love about sea shanties, which is the idea of it is that it's a crew of people. They're not supposed to sound like a professional choir. Even though both of their voices sound wonderful, it's not about meshing necessarily in terms of how you choose to approach specific melodic lines. It's about conveying that strong message of whatever it is that you're singing. It's very similar to spirituals in that way. So just the fact that we get two very different voices, both of which are really exceptional and are approaching this line in such a way that is just so distinctly their own. Oh, I love it so much, man.
We will go along the plains of Mexico. She's a fast clipper ship and a bully good crew.
Yeah.
And an old salty yang or a captain too. Along the
love
plains
that.
of Mexico. Heave her up and away we'll go away, Santiana. Heave her up and away we'll go along the plains of Mexico.
Santiana, Fort for gold.
Away, Santiana.
Those harmonies.
Around Cape Horn through the ice and snow.
Along the plains of Mexico.
Heave her up and away we'll go away, Santiana.
Yeah, I love that.
Heave her up and away we'll go along the plains of Mexico.
Was on the field of Monte del Rey. Away, Santiana.
Yeah.
Both his legs got blown away.
I love this section so much. First, we got a guy who's singing these lines in his own style, but it really feels like he's sticking to the notes of the arrangement, which is just fine with maybe a little bit of personal flair in his voice and style, but you could tell that his notes were very specific towards harmonizing towards the rest of the group in that moment instead of really emphasizing his own individual ornamentation maybe. But regardless, it was still really well executed, and because we're so adjusted to this bass sound, that having something a little bit higher, still in a man's chest voice of course, but just having that higher register be incorporated into the piece is a really nice contrast to everything that we've experienced thus far. So I really love that. And then moving into the next verse where again we get more of that deeper bass. Yeah, dude, that again, great contrast. It's really well arranged in that way and constantly keeps me interested. Love that.
His legs down, blown away along the plains of Mexico. Leave her up and away we'll go away, Santiana. Leave her up and away we'll go along the plains of Mexico.
Yeah.
It was a fierce and empty strife.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. That Santiana, that the lowest bass line, that definitely felt a little bit vocal fry-y, but let me hear it again. Actually, that could just be ridiculous low bass notes with full support, but it's yeah, life there definitely feels vocal fry. Yeah, it's even in a vocal fry though, it just feels so powerful just because it's coming from his voice. His sultry, powerful, rich, beautiful voice. Oh, I get chills, dude. It's magic. Even something as coarse as a vocal fry still feels magical when it comes out of his mouth. Yeah. I love how expressive they are. Love that. Oh, these arpeggios. Chills. I love it. I love it. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there was a period of my life where I was so heavily involved in sea shanties, absolutely obsessed with them. And the piece itself that actually got me into it was a song called The Curse from The Longest Johns. And since then, I just completely invested myself in sea shanties for like a year. Not that I necessarily dressed up as pirates or anything, but I was just singing them all the time. And I just really, really digged it. Even though I've moved on a little bit, it doesn't mean that my love for sea shanties is any less. I still really love the feeling. Very similar to my love of spiritual music and gospel music in those ways of just having so much passion be exuded and extricated through the medium of music itself. And it's just incredible. I just love it. I love it so much. Bass singers of TikTok. This was such a great arrangement, and I loved your pacing of the piece. It was constantly engaging. Each of your vocalists had their own unique spin on every line, and it was just really captivating and a lot of fun to listen and sit through, and I really enjoyed myself. Amazing job, guys. I really dig it. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. If y'all liked it, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you didn't like it, please leave a dislike and let me know why in the comments. I do read all of the comments, even if I may not heart or reply to them, so please know that your comments do not go unnoticed. My live streams are currently Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so if you guys would like to stop by and say hey, or ask any questions about myself or the channel, I'd be more than happy to be there for you guys. Once again, thank you so much, Susan Southard, for recommending this video. Obviously, I really love it. And if you guys would like to request a song for me to listen and react to, my Venmo, PayPal, and Patreon are all links in the description below. You can leave me a message through any one of those, and I will be sure to prioritize it in future videos. There is a small wait list, but I will absolutely reach back out to you guys after you send the request and let you know the time frame for it and send you the video directly if it's a little too long or whatever the case is. I will keep you all updated on it and give you the video directly once it has been edited. I want to take this time to appreciate all of you for being here. It really does mean a lot to me, and to you specifically, thank you so much. This channel wouldn't be possible without you guys, and I really do appreciate it. So thank you so much, and I can't wait to see all of you in the next video. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone.